When the word narcissist is mentioned, the mind often creates a specific image: someone loud, arrogant, and constantly seeking the spotlight. However, behavioral studies point to a much more subtle and dangerous variation. It's known as the covert narcissist. Unlike the overtype, this individual doesn't demand the center of the room. They dominate through silence, through perceived fragility, and through a specialized form of quiet manipulation. This is Jaromir's sessions, and today's analysis focused on identifying the 5 hidden signs of this personality dynamic. Understanding these patterns is the first step in protecting emotional boundaries. It's not about labels, it's about recognizing the mechanisms of toxic connection. The first sign is a phenomenon: vulnerable victimhood. While typical narcissist brags about greatness, the covert narcissist draws power from their suffering. From a clinical perspective, this is a tool used to bypass accountability. If they hurt someone, they immediately shift the focus to their own pain, their difficult past, or their good intentions that were misunderstood. An example of this in action: imagine a partner who forgets a significant anniversary. Instead of apologizing, they respond by saying, "I've been under so much stress at work, and now I feel even worse because I let you down. I'm such a failure. I don't even know why you stay with me." Suddenly, the person who was hurt finds themselves comforting the person who caused the harm. This is the quiet manipulation. At its peak, the focus is successfully shifted from the mistake to the narcissist's fragile ego. Observational data suggests that for the covert narcissist, being the most misunderstood is just as valuable as being the best. Sign number 2: passive-aggressive neglect. The second sign involves the silent treatment or passive-aggressive withdrawal. While overt types might show, the covert type uses silence as a weapon of control. Neurobiological research indicates that social rejection and being ignored activate the same pain centers in the brain as physical injury. The covert narcissists use this quiet to create anxiety in their partner. Instead of addressing a conflict, they may simply become cold, distant, or forget to respond to messages for days. There is no explanation, only an invisible wall. This forces the other person to walk on eggshells and eventually apologize just to end the unbearable tension. This phenomenon is identified as emotional starvation, a method used to keep a partner in a state of a constant insecurity. Let's examine this in a professional setting. Imagine a colleague named Anna. Anna doesn't shout at meetings. In fact, she is one who says deeply when someone else is speaking. When Anna is asked to contribute to a team project that she feels is beneath her, she doesn't refuse. Behavioral observations show a different tactic: chronic procrastination as sabotage. Anna will forget the deadline, or she will produce work that is intentionally incomplete, forcing the rest of the team to fix it. When confronted, Anna becomes the victim. She might say, "I've been struggling with so much lately, and I felt like my ideas weren't being heard anyway, so I lost focus." This is the quiet manipulation at work. By being incompetent or struggling, Anna controls the entire team's schedule. They stop asking her for things to avoid the drama of her fragility. This is identified as control through incompetence. It's a way to dominate the environment without even having to take the lead or be held accountable. Sign number 3: the hypersensitive shield. There is an extreme level of hypersensitivity to criticism. On the surface, this person may seem humble or even insecure. However, developmental patterns show that this is often a defense mechanism for highly inflated yet fragile sense of self. Any feedback, even if delivered with kindness, is perceived as brutal attack. A simple request like, "Could you help me more with the household chores?" is met within an emotional collapse or intense resentment. This is formally referred to as narcissistic injury. Because they cannot handle being imperfect, they frame every piece of feedback as persecution. Over time, this conditions people around them to stop speaking their truth. The quiet manipulation here is simple. If honesty is punished with an emotional breakdown, honesty eventually disappears from the relationship. The fourth sign is internalized grandiosity. Even if they don't brag openly, the covert narcissist feels superior to everyone else. They often believe that they are too deep, too artistic, or too sensitive for the average person to understand. Behavioral standpoint analysis reveals that this shows up as a quiet disdain for others. They might not say someone is stupid, but they will use smug silence or a condescending sigh to indicate their intellectual or moral superiority. They often feel entitled to special treatment without doing the work to earn it. They are the unrecognized genius, or the person who gives too much to an ungrateful world. This mindset creates a dynamic where the partner feels constantly judged by the standard that is never clearly defined. Sign number 5. Selective empathy. The final sign is perhaps the most confusing one. Performative or selective empathy. Covert narcissists are often seen by the public as the nicest person or the most helpful neighbor. They may volunteer or help strangers with great intensity. However, extensive clinical observations indicate a sharp drop in empathy behind closed doors. This is known as the public saint, private sinner dynamic. They use their public reputation as a shield. If a partner tries to complain about the manipulation, others might say, "But he's such a great guy," or "She's so sweet to everyone." This leaves the victim feeling isolated and doubting their own reality. This is a form of gaslighting by reputation. The empathy is not a genuine connection. It's a currency used to buy social protection. To understand the public saint dynamic, let's look at a family scenario. Imagine a partner who is incredibly helpful to everyone in the neighborhood. They mow the lawn for the elderly lady next door. They are the first to volunteer for a local charity. Everyone tells you you are so lucky to have them. But once the front door is closed, the energy shifts. When the partner is asked for some level of help at home, perhaps with the children or emotional support, the response is cold. They might say, "I give so much to everyone else all day. I have nothing left for you. Why are you so demanding?" From a developmental perspective, this is a strategy to maintain a perfect public image while neglecting the private reality. This creates a psychological trap for the partner. If they try to leave or complain, the community, even their own family, might not believe them. This leads to a state of cognitive dissonance, where the victim begins to wonder, "Is it me? Am I the problem? Everyone else thinks they are an angel." This is the ultimate power of the covert narcissist. They use the world's good opinion of them to silence their victim's voice. Identifying a covert narcissist is difficult because the red flags are painted in shades of gray. But the cost of the connection is always the same: a slow erosion of self-esteem and constant feeling of exhaustion. In terms of psychological growth, healing begins when the focus is shifted from fixing the narcissist to protecting the self. A relationship should be a place of safety, not a puzzle that requires constant solving. Before wrapping up, consider the people in your life. Ask the question: are you in a partnership based on a mutual respect, or are you an audience member for someone else's quiet tragedy? Reflect on that. The truth is often found in the silence between the words. I'm Jaromir. Thank you for attending this session. Stay curious, understand the pattern, and if you are ready to look deeper into the human mind, subscribe to Jaromir's sessions. See you in the next one.